All right, Little Chute, Wisconsin. Kamala Harris is going to be speaking there in a couple of minutes. Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Trump will make his case later this evening. Republicans are giddy over data showing a big swell of early Republican voters, and it's true. Take North Carolina, for example, where Republicans have 34% of the early vote compared to 31% in 2020. And these are registered voters, registered Democrats, registered Republicans returning ballots. So we don't know who they voted for, but if you're registered for a party, you're probably voting for that party. Pennsylvania, the gap's even larger. Republicans have a 33% share of the early vote this year. In 2020, they only had 22%. A lot of buzz. And that buzz could be a chainsaw, and here's why. Pennsylvania, women represent 56% of the early vote. North Carolina, women, 55% of the early vote. And women, especially single women, especially single college-educated white women, vote overwhelmingly for Harris. With us now, Washington correspondent for the San Francisco Chronicle, Shira Stein, Notice reporter Catherine Schwartz. Ladies, good to see both of you. Thank you. I want to start with you, Shira. Trump and Harris closing arguments go hard on gendered messages. Anecdotally, I get this, that there is this concept of women defying their MAGA husbands voting for Kamala Harris rather than Donald Trump. Is there any data to support that those women actually exist in a number that matters?
It's not super clear. It really is more of a messaging campaign. We saw an ad from Julia Roberts that some Republicans are very upset about. I think what's more important that we're looking at is women tend to turn out as voters more than men do. And Donald Trump has run much of his campaign on messaging to men and especially to young men. And I'm curious to see if he can turn out those young men who don't typically get off the couch and vote. If not, he may have bet on the wrong gender.
Well, as someone who was a lazy young man myself, I can say that you have a point. The ad you're talking about by Julia Roberts was highly pointed. And you're right, it did anger a lot of Republicans because it sort of talked about women lying to their husbands or trying to celebrate women lying to their husbands. Take a look.
Your turn, honey.
In the one place in America where women still have a right to choose, you can vote any way you want. And no one will ever know.
Did you make the right choice?
Sure did, honey.
Remember, what happens in the booth stays in the booth. Vote Harris Walls.
There's all sorts of tropes and subtle messages there, whatever we think of that, Catherine. But the flip side to this ad, right, is the Trump ads about Kamala Harris and boys playing on girls' sports teams and transgender surgeries. Does that sort of cancel things out with the same group, which is college-educated white women who are married, not single?
Well, when it comes to that group, I'll just say, having traveled across Pennsylvania, it's a concern I hear over and over again from Republicans. You know, canvassing in areas like the suburbs of Pittsburgh, this is a place Republicans have lost a lot of ground. I see on these apps the number of split houses of the married women who are voting Democrat and consistently have voted Democrat, and the men that are showing as solid conservative voters. So on that side, it's a very real thing. And when it comes to the transgender issue of, you know, that messaging that we've seen a real surge of, both on the campaign trail at rallies, in ads, it's something that's certainly driving up support among the base of white older men that Trump needs to get out in complete support if he has a chance in battleground states.
Go ahead, Shira.
It's really important to note that when Republicans have used anti-trans messaging in the past in elections, it has not worked for them. So if it works this time, I would be surprised.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.